Welcome out, everybody, to episode 376 of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. We have Anthony Portillo on the show today.
Hello.
But before we let him talk anymore, and poor Anthony, I'm probably going to talk all over you the whole show. It'll probably just be me ranting that's every episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky, really.
It's your show, so it's cool.
Oh, thank you. I could be a better host, but that's okay.
Don't worry about that.
If we like love, though, who doesn't like love? Love is like, keeps the world moving and stuff, unless you're Trump. So we want your love. Help us, love us, and we will love you. Head over to iTunes, Stitcher, or anywhere else. Give us a loving review, and we'll read it here on the show. Do we overlook it? Sometimes, but if that's the case, email us at goodbadgeeky@gmail.com and remind us, and then we'll be like, we're so sorry. We'll kiss your ass, and then we'll read it on the air anyway, because that's how great we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, Young Writers 2018 is coming to Mad Lab. Mad Lab is a nonprofit organization that provides an artistic haven for the creation and experience of original works. Part of that effort, though, involves giving young people the opportunity to create original works and see them brought to life. Founded in 2011, Mad Lab's Young Writers Short Play Festival is designed to give local high school playwrights a professional theater experience. Students submit 10-minute plays, and the best are chosen to be developed and produced at Mad Lab. Program has a lasting impact on the student and adult participants alike. Former playwrights have gone on to major in theater in college and have their work included in textbooks and perform on national television. I don't know what those are, but if you want more information, it's July 13th through the 28th, Fridays and Saturdays with 2 Sunday matinees. But I have a link here. I created it just for this, so you can just go to it real quick. It's https://d4k.us/ Y for Young, W for Writers, 2018. Our official sponsor of the show, though, is Audible, with over 200,000 titles to choose from. You get a 30-day free membership, plus a book to get you started, 1 credit a month after the trial, good for any book regardless of price, ad-free premium audio that you listen to offline, no interruptions, kind of like a podcast. Your own amazing library. You keep your books even if you cancel. I know there's been a few times I've had to cancel my membership, and that sucks, but it's awesome because I'm able to keep my library, and then when I rejoin back up, it's the same thing. I have full access to my library still. I get to add more books to it, and also easy exchanges. You don't love a book, Anthony? You can switch it out.
Say what?
What? That's right. Swap it for free, motherfucker, anytime.
That's really cool.
That's really cool. And here's the easiest thing too. Do you have an Amazon account? You probably do.
I do.
You see? So, Anthony, right now, if you go to audibletrial.com/goodbadgeeky, you get your 30-day trial. Boom. You can get tons of awesome books. And it's also suggested you download the Audible app, but you can also probably do it from the website, too. It's the power of Amazon, putting out Toys R Us since 2018. Did you know that we are proud members of It's All Been Done Presents Network? Speaking of the network, do you have vague remembrance of the band Bare Naked Ladies from the late 90s to early aughts? If you do, then you're in good company. Oh, don't laugh during that. It makes me sad and old. Join friends Evan and Saker as they hazily stumble through every single Bare Naked Ladies song 1 week at a time. Can you feel me winking through the mic? From their first album to their last, driving themselves insane along the way. Do you know anything about BNL? That's probably more than they do. Strap in for pet theories about vampires, retirement homes, murders, and more. As someone who loves that band and loves that first album especially, that makes no fucking sense to me. So I need to listen to the podcast.
Obviously.
It's All Been Done, a Bare Naked Ladies podcast. Check them out along with our programs at iebdpresents.com and support us at patreon.com/iebd. And when I say us, I mean It's All Been Done Presents, not Good, Bad, and Geeky. All right, Anthony, we're so excited. We'll probably talk about this once the show starts, officially, after the theme song. But this is the first time we've had you on the show, officially. We'll talk about that part later. But we're here to talk about The Incredibles 2. Finally. After, it feels like we've been waiting 14 years to talk about. I haven't known you that long, but I feel like you and I have both waited 14 years for this very exact moment.
We've been waiting together, even though we didn't always know each other.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of like that thing where we're walking down. It's like one day we're going to fucking talk about Incredibles 2. And you know what? And we're gonna spoil all kinds of shit.
You better have seen this, or you better be
going to
okay
be spoiled. I mean, and I'm not talking about Incredibles. As a matter of fact, I would just say if you've seen any movie ever, it'd be a good
watch out.
Because I'm telling you. I mean, no. In all seriousness, though, this was brought up to me, so I'm trying to make a point. we spoil a lot of things. Off the top of my head, I can think of. I'm not going to get them all. So this is a film, TV, comic book, whatever. We talk about spoilers for Marvel comic books, Marvel movies, DC movies, Star Wars movies, Ninja Turtles. Sorry, folks. Tons of other stuff that I can think. Dick Tracy comes up. I'm sure it will come up. Sure, at one point.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I mean, just thinking right now, that's something that might come up. So, I would say in general, if you haven't seen any movie that's come out in the last 6 months to a year, be careful. And then on top of that, The Incredibles and Pixar. Anything by Disney Pixar, we kind of delve all over the place into.
We have some restraint. I feel like if another movie's come out in like the last month, we're going to be like, oh, obviously I shouldn't talk about that. But beyond that window, it's like...
Well, but here's the thing. But did we?
Did we wait?
Did we wait? Did we, Anthony, show any restraint? Because, let me rephrase it. Did I show any restraint? I did not.
You're going to have to start bleeping yourself. Bleep out the spoilers.
Oh, Jesus.
So people who know what's happening, they're like, oh, I think I know what they're talking about.
Yeah. By the way, if you would like to be a producer of the show to help me with this,
sure.
I can't pay you anything.
Of course.
But please.
But maybe chips.
You know what? Chips. And you know what? Anthony will gladly take those chips as payment.
Yes.
And
they're nice and light.
And I know. Well, no, I'm sorry. We'll pay you in chips. And then if any you don't want, Anthony will take. And then also we'll just give Anthony chips anyway because he's a good dude and needs chips. He's a grown boy, Ma. He needs those chips. He wants to see more incredible movies. We gotta give him more food.
And I guess I've got to wait another 14 if there's going to be one.
Oh, it makes me sad. Hopefully I'll have a kid by then and they'll be 12 years old. Dear Lord. All right. Well, so anyway, Anthony, I don't think you have anything to plug officially, except for maybe you have a YouTube video you could check out, right? Sacrifices?
Yes, I've made a couple of short films that I'm pretty proud of.
Yep, there you go.
The one that I last did was called Sacrifices. It's sort of more of a thriller than a horror. Mm-hmm. It's supernatural in nature, but it's just a short film. Me and my friends challenged each other to kind of each make our own short. Mm-hmm. So we each did ours and directed them so that even though they're similar threads because we're friends, they're all different types of horror or supernatural stories.
That's cool.
I think there's links to the other ones if you find mine. So
yeah, so if you find him, so we're not going to just give it to you because that's simple and easy. We're going to make you search for it. No, it's on YouTube though for sure.
It's called Sacrifices.
And you spell your last name.
P as in Papa, O-R, T as in Tango, I-L-L-O.
Wow, first name Anthony.
The name over the phone a lot, so sorry about that.
No, I understand. I mean, we've allowed chewing at the beginning of this. If you've made it this far, there is no more chewing. We promise you, and there is an unintentional side burp from me, not Anthony. That does happen, but Anthony's classy about it because he's a good man, Charlie Brown.
Oh, man,
you should have taken
not a good start.
Anthony's doing right now because he's playing the drinking game with us right now. You should have had like 5 drinks already just in this intro alone. It's going to get worse, folks. But seriously, this is episode 376 of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky. Don't even know my own name.
Who are we?
Where are we? Why are we?
Serious questions.
Thanks, Drax. But we're going to talk a bunch of stuff, but more importantly, Incredibles 2. Do we like the movie? Do we not like the movie? Do we have complaints about the movie? Well, you're going to find out in this fun episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Geeky with Anthony Portillo. Hey! All right, and as you heard in the intro, which we totally just got done recording, technically this is not your first time on the show, but this is the first time on the show, because you gave us, what movie? It was a Marvel movie, wasn't it? Was it Civil War that you gave us?
All I remember is I had surgery, so I sent you videos from like my bed, because I had just been cut open.
Right.
And I had to send in like little chunks of...
and we played it. It was a Marvel movie, though. I know that much. I feel like it was a Marvel movie. because it's one of those. It was a big summer, or if not, it's a blockbustery movie.
Yeah.
And so you gave us your thoughts on it, but this is and there's a few other times too where it's close cause, but no, this is awesome, and also this is great too because I've not seen you in forever.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yes, it's been a long time, so this is always great. I'm not going to say the place of business, but we used to work together, and what was great is that, I mean, we had some nerds and geeks that worked in our room.
I mean,
but like
almost the majority there.
Well,
at the end especially.
Especially at the end. But in particular, I would say Tim and you and me were the nerds of the group.
The too much.
Yeah.
The over the top ones.
But the great thing is here's the thing. Our friend Dan, Dan bust out Lord of the Rings, and you're like, whoa. But he's Mr. Let's watch football all the time. Let's watch football all the time. But then he's like, or we could watch Lord of the Rings, bro. And I'm like, whoa. But you're like the hardcore film nerd. Like we like you're better than me. Like I feel like you also are a filmmaker, a local filmmaker too.
Yes.
So that adds to it. But like you would bust out like, I remember one time you mentioned something to me and I felt like Jesus. I feel like you should be on RogerEbert.com. Like you're busting out like a French director name, and it's not like one I've heard of before. Or no, it wasn't French. It was Italian. It was the guy who wrote was it 9.5. You busted that out, Fellini, and then you busted another one. I was like, sure. Is that the guy who made Amélie? No. God damn it. Okay.
So close.
Okay. Sure. But no, that's what I'm saying. So you're at a completely different level than I am, which is very nice too.
I'm behind in many ways, but yeah, I'm learning. I'm working on it.
Well, compared to me, like, okay, here's the thing. Your knowledge of film, like, and your appreciation of film is there.
Yes.
And I'm there with you, but your knowledge of what films to appreciate are probably way more diverse than mine, which is Marvel. Yeah. And, that's what I'm saying. Like, I see probably more of the bigger blockbuster stuff or just general than I would say that would be the difference. Like, I think, I remember back in the day, we haven't gotten to The Incredibles 2 yet, but the thing that's really interesting is that when I went to my wife's parents' house for Christmas, they have cable and they have HBO.
Cable, rare.
Oh, I know. Well, especially nowadays, we've cut the cable too. I used to be a big defender of cable, but I was just like, I can't see the money. It's not worth the money. But when I was there at her parents', I just realized that cable was the reason why I saw so many movies, because you're just kind of stuck. Even with DVR, you could tape whatever.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's not like Netflix where you look at it and you go, I have 20 different things I can choose from right now, and I don't know how I feel about any of them.
Yeah.
HBO, it's fucking on HBO. Just turn it on and see what you think. Oh, okay. You're kind of lost. Just stick around for 10 minutes and then the movie's over. And I watched the whole day because it was Christmas. I watched nothing but movies all day.
Yes.
Some of them I've seen before, but there was like, what's the one with the big? It's not Guardians. It's the one with the gigantic tree. I think it's a Monster Calls.
Oh, I didn't see it, but I saw the previews.
Really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Depressing, but good.
That's what I heard.
Well, now also to throw this out there for insight, this is after they were showing, I think it was Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail.
There's a lot of melancholy in there with the comedy.
Love Actually. Sleepless, While You Were Sleeping, and then A Monster Calls. And I was just like, wow, I'm glad that I'm in a relationship and I'm happy because, dear God, I want to slit my wrist.
The feels train.
The feels train, and I'm so lonely. Why am I watching this? Oh, I'm sad at Christmas. And there it is. But I enjoy the movies. And then bleed out everywhere. You guys, I made a cutting my wrist sound. But that's what I'm saying. But I realize, I feel like cable is the reason why I used to watch so much. And now that I don't, like, I look at Netflix and sometimes my wife and I will be like, I don't know what we should watch. Oh, that new thing that came out today that everyone's talking about? Maybe we'll watch it. But so did that other thing. And then it becomes a, what do we watch thing?
Well, it's such a weird psychological thing where, like, Netflix, well, some of the services try to do it where they're like, well, let's start doing autoplay, because people obviously spend way too much time flipping through things.
Right.
But it's still not the same as, like, oh, this just started and it's 5 minutes in. Okay, I could pick this up and watch it. Like, we have to make it that much more easier for us to pick something unfamiliar. Just like, well, it's already playing, so I guess I'll watch.
Right, and it drives me... It drives me nuts that so I'm starting to regress a little bit too in my filmmaking watching.
Yeah.
So my filmmaking watching, because that's good English. I mean, technically, if you love language, English is not a great language. So
no, steer clear.
Yeah, but I just made it worse, which is the goal of this show. But so don't worry about like if you don't see. I mean that, and I know you see the big ones like
a lot of the big ones, because I'm totally, even though like I can be a snob, I like popcorn movies. I like stupid fun.
That's the great thing too that I really like, and we would always kind of talk about it, but then other people in the room would be like, what was it? Like you and I like the movie Unbreakable.
Yeah.
And I remember the big joke was Tim too, also our coworker Tim, also enjoyed the film Unbreakable. And one of my favorite memories is our friend Dan would always say, "Would you say it's phenomenal?" And everyone would be like, "Yes or no." And Tim's like, Dan, Unbreakable is phenomenal. And you and me were like, yes, it's great. It's like one of the last great M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong movies ever. And then, because Signs is questionable for people.
Yeah, that's hit or miss for people.
He watched it and he hated it. And so every time he was just like, would you say it's phenomenal? Tim? I just
cracked. Will we breach that threshold? Phenomenal? We're going there?
Are we going there? But yeah, you and I would also talk about, we could recognize the difference between a popcorn movie, or if we have the conversation, Spielberg brought this up, the difference between a movie and a film.
Yes.
Like Ready Player One's a movie, Schindler's List is a film.
Yeah.
Right. And I think you and I, like if someone said that to us, we go, okay, like
it's the intention behind it. You're like,
oh yeah,
they're trying to say something or they're not. Like
now,
this
every
is clearly
once
for
in a while,
entertainment.
You get ones that are a movie that have a hint of film in them.
Yes.
Like, okay, to get it on point,
that'll
Incredibles 2 is kind of that. I thought. I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a popcorn film, but it's a damn good one. And there's hints of, I don't know, it's different too. Like it didn't, I'd
have to agree. I think that it was more of like a blockbuster, like exciting, funny movie. Because especially the first one got a little more dramatic moments. It was a little more like direct peril that was like scary.
Yeah.
And this one still had peril, but it was more about the ride. And maybe I give too much flack, but I'm kind of okay with that. I'm okay with the films being different from each other.
I am too. Well, we kind of talked about this lightly on Guardians Volume 2. Mm-hmm. I love that movie. And that movie had a lot of faults, but everything it was trying to do, like the first movie, I was just like, damn, that was a fun movie and it kind of had a little bit of heart into it and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then the second one, though, like it just kept hitting you in the gut with like and also James Gunn to me he packaged it as a popcorn movie, but it's very subtle. And like I argue that, and I still believe this, Rocket Raccoon is the true heart of that movie, of all the movies.
Yeah.
And Groot's the soul. And see, he's classy. You guys didn't hear that. It's because he moved his head away. In my defense, I did not hear that I was going to burp. But now that I'm talking about it again, they might have to leave it in and then, just drink your whole drink. And it's never said, though, directly. Like, if you're just paying attention to little moments here and there, I really feel like, and I feel like Incredibles 2, Brad Bird in general does that in the same way. Like, he sets things up and he shows you and doesn't tell you, which is a huge...
He's very good at that. I think any movie of his that I've seen generally, I don't know about Tomorrowland, but most of them are show you, not tell you.
Okay. I don't know how I don't remember. Oh, I think we watched it in the room.
Oh, I think so.
Yeah. And I remember I think it was you, me, and Dan. Was it maybe? If not, it was Tim, Dan, and I.
I have terrible memory.
So by the way, just to clarify, we worked like 7 days a week. In some cases, or the room was constantly had people 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And there was one whole day where pretty much nothing happened.
Very quiet.
Very quiet. So we would, as long as we got our work done, we were allowed to use the teleconference room for football. And actually we had two TVs. So one was football, the other was a movie. And I remember we watched...
That was so cool.
It was so cool. We watched Tomorrowland, though. And I just remember, because it was on DVD. And I just remember watching the extras. And it made me really enjoy the movie if it was added in the movie. Because it was all about Hugh Laurie character. or just showed more of him, because I just felt like Hugh Laurie's the bad guy and he just doesn't show up until the end, really.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, but like all the stuff of him dealing with young George Clooney and him in Disney World for the World's Fair.
Yeah.
It's him just being an asshole. You can see shades of he's just getting fed up with humanity. And I'm just like, this is so good. I bet you this was made for the DVD. And if so, it just pisses me off. And it made me really sad.
Well, yeah, it's just so weird because he does so good at structuring his movies and like layering them. And that kind of felt like, it was like, who got in the way, buddy? Like, what happened? Like,
did you see John Carter of Mars?
I don't think I've seen it all the way through.
Ooh,
I remember that.
Is it because it wasn't good, or was it just because you were doing stuff while you were watching it?
It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it still felt like it could have been better for the source material.
I enjoyed it. It was okay.
Yeah.
But my reason for bringing that up is Andrew Stanton, Pixar alumnus, did the live action film. Now, granted, Brad Bird did Mission Impossible, got a hit.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, granted, but it's a phenomenal movie, considering it's Mission Impossible. I really enjoyed it. It actually made me like, wow, I didn't think I'd care about Mission Impossible, but I still do.
Yeah.
And I believe part of that is Brad Bird, a little bit on that, because I'm sure he tinkered with the script, and then the directing was great. And then he does.
Wasn't that the one where the MacGuffin had like a really obvious name? Was that his one?
I think so. I just remember
it was 3 or 4 when it was just like, you got to get the thing, and they're like,
yeah,
we don't know what it is.
Oh yeah, and yeah, because that's where he runs the sandstorm, and it made me realize that that's how he runs through everything, as he karate chops the air with his hands.
Cut down wind resistance, man. Chop that air out of the way.
You know what? That's completely valid. So the science of running, that should be our new YouTube video.
The science of running.
It's a video essay about the science of running. Why does Tom Cruise's characters run faster than any other character in movies?
It'll be diagrams. Yeah, animatronics.
We should get like a professor from a well-respected college, does physics and just talks about the physics of karate chopping the air.
And then be like, and if physics worked the way we think it works, then how would it do it? What?
Yeah. So for those who don't follow what he meant by that, and I'm going to take a guess here, look at the new poster for the film a Skyscraper. Was that what it is? With Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
Oh my goodness.
It was one of the first memes for that movie, and they didn't plan on it, which is when they released the final poster, it just shows the crane, and it shows him running like he's going to jump. It shows him mid-jump. That's what it was. And apparently everyone lost their goddamn mind because they started drawing mathematically like he would never make where he's trying to go. Like, at least give me some mathematical probability of how he could make that. Yeah, because they even said in the trailer, they show like he's going to run and make it, and he has a bad leg.
Yeah, he's an amputee.
And they're like, look, we can suspend disbelief in a moving image. But when you show us just a poster
with the angles clearly defined,
we can't let you go, okay, that makes sense, he can make that. We're going to just suspend disbelief. They're like, no, fuck you, we're taking you to... This is like the gigantic leg on Ready Player One. No way that dude's fucking that tall.
Yeah.
But he might be. It could be... I know, he's not. That's a bad Photoshop. That's...
Well, yes. I mean, every action movie is going to take licenses, and we know that. It's cool. Yeah, but like, wow, The Rock just apparently ran 40 miles per hour and then jumped off at like a 15-degree angle upwards so he can shoot through the air across to the side of a building.
Well, I think they said the most probable thing is that he would actually just fall, like he would just straight fall from where he's at and just die. And, yeah. But they said like even if he would have probably moved up a little bit like more, he would at least hit another floor below and then die that way. Yeah. Like they're just like, okay, because I think the fire.
Or he makes it, but the impact like.
Right, because the whole point is he's going through an open, crashed window to save his family.
No one gets in the way.
Yeah, they really should have just called that Die Hard. I don't.
Yeah,
because let's be honest,
or Hard Die.
Bruce Willis is a fucking douchebag at this point in his life. I'm okay with not ever seeing him in a Die Hard movie again.
Yeah, they did their thing.
They did, yeah. And that relates to Thy Holy Incredibles 2. So I told Anthony before we started, like, we'll just dovetail into all kinds of shit, and we've already have. This is like our, third Inception conversation?
Yeah, we're stacking them up.
We're stacking them up. That's how a good Inception works.
Layers.
Well, at least that's what Nolan teaches us. Or are we already in the Inception? Whoa! Well, at the end of this movie, it's like people walk out and go, I don't know what they thought about Incredibles 2, but goddamn, that skyscraper movie
sounds so good.
But yeah, I thought Brad Bird was a good director, live action. But Tomorrowland, I felt like part of me wonders if there was interference or something.
That's my same thought. I was just like, who got in the way of your vision, Brad? You're so solid.
Yeah. Who was it, Brad? Show them on the film where they touched your or touched it. Take a drink. Touched it. Whatever. No, but exactly. But I mean, like, I think you and I talked about this too, saying like, I think you kind of enjoy the film way more than I do. But Spider-Man 3, I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much.
I feel like it was almost like B movie where like I could kind of enjoy it as like a train wreck. But
I can't, because the first two were so good. Well, now that time has passed and we've had I hate to say this, an actually really good Spider-Man movie.
Homecoming?
Yeah.
I just recently saw that. So.
Oh, you hadn't seen it until recently?
Like in the last month or so. I just got a fancy new TV,
wow.
and so I brought home like super...
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
By the way, a weird Easter egg for you is when he's talking to the principal, and I think towards the beginning of the movie, he gets called into the principal's office, and it's like an Asian American gentleman. Mm-hmm. If you look, the way they stage the shot, you don't really get... I think you get one medium shot of him looking out of the window and watching, I think, the girl who ends up being Mary Jane or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, he's paying attention to the kids, not what's going on. And then they do a shot where it's through the window, and that's the rest of the shot where he's talking to Peter. Mm-hmm. Behind the principal is the shot of the Howling Commandos. It's the same actor who played the Asian guy in the Howling Commandos. He's playing his great-great-grandson or whatever.
Howling Commandos?
Yeah. From Captain America, Winter Soldier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the group of sorry, deep cut on you there.
Yeah.
Well, but I was just like, I watched that when I got on Blu-ray because I saw the movie in theaters, but then I watched it on Blu-ray, and it was one of those ones where you're paying attention to different things, or you're not paying attention to the film. You're looking at your phone. You look up and you look at the wrong thing at the wrong time, but it ends up being the right thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, Easter egg.
Did you see that?
Did you see that? Yeah. And I was like, so that's a fun, so if you go back and rewatch it, if you have the chance to, that's a fun little, like, oh, it's all connected.
Yeah.
I did think that was it. But, and Spider-Man 3, that's how I somehow got to that. I was just saying that you can at least enjoy that. I can't Inception it.
Yeah.
We've Inception the Inception, out of the Inception, but back in at the same time.
It's easy to do if you know what you're doing.
Do you have a top? I can't watch Spider-Man 3. My friend Jim, because he's a douchebag, but I love him. Actually, no, it's just really funny.
I haven't seen that in years, so.
He bought it for me for Christmas on DVD because that's the movie that broke, that and the Matrix movies broke me from buying sequels. Like, I had to be a completionist. And now I'm like, nope.
No.
But that movie, my point is that movie, Sam Raimi definitely had interference from the studio. Like, they shoehorned Venom in and all kinds of stuff. Like, to me, I think the original intention was maybe put Venom at the end, and then they're like, no, we want him in the whole movie. And I'm like, ooh.
It's not a character you want to make a side character.
Oh, no.
Like, it's one of the more well-known ones.
Right. And it didn't help that Raimi didn't like the character either, but I digress. So that's a good example of studio interference with a good director. Like, I remember Spider-Man, people were like, Sam Raimi directed a big-budget movie, and it was good? And I was just like, he's a good director. He just loves horror film, and so he does horror stuff.
And he loves cheesy stuff. Oh, and things that are typically considered cheesy.
Oh, yeah.
But it's intentional.
Exactly. Which is why one of the best parts of the second one is Dr. Octopus waking up, and it becomes like a Evil Dead movie for half a second.
Ba-bow. All the close-ups, the cuts, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then it becomes a horror movie, like, with the girls, like, crawling when he kills all those people, and it's like a really long scene of him just murdering every one of them. Well, the arms are murdering. He has no right. because he takes it off and he's like, what happened here? And anyway, but no, I just remember it bothered me, but then it made me feel really terrified that the doctor had the gloves on, but she was crawling, trying to crawl away, and when it was pulling her away through her gloves, it was it was like scratching and peeling the tile or the whatever, the linoleum off the floor, and I was like, oh God, that's so that's how fucking Jesus, yeah. But again, it's done very quickly. I mean, the shots are very quickly, so it feels moving, even though it is like it's probably like a minute long scene.
For what it's doing, it's long. Normally, other directors would be like, cut away. Obviously, they're murdered. And he's like, nope, you're going to see every person get their chest cut open.
But there's not a lot of blood, though, either. It's all done tastefully. It's PG-13-ish.
Cut away before the artery, spurts its blood.
Right. Or I think the one shot, it's all done in shadow. Like, you can just see the shadow from off camera, and then the girl goes, ah, and runs into the frame. So studio interference sucks, and I think Tomorrowland kind of showed that. So that's why, but then I went back to like, or was it like the studio go, it's too long? Is that why you cut that stuff? So Brad Bird, but I feel like Brad Bird and Andrew Stanton did something that I think Pete Docter's a pussy to do, and I'm going to call him out on it right here. I love you guys at Pixar, but whoever at Pixar said Pete Docter it was okay that he did not make a sequel to Monsters Incorporated and then let them make a prequel needs to fucking die. No,
that was a strange move. I do not think.
I'm sorry, that was too mean. You need to emotionally feel sadness in your soul. Please don't die. That was I'm sorry. That was too bad. Far, man. That was too far. It really was. But it really pisses me off.
I get it.
I mean, the best part of that movie is when they're in the camp at the end of the movie, like when they go in the real world. And like it's the only moment.
You're talking about University or the original?
University, sorry.
Okay. I didn't see that one yet.
Oh.
But I heard it was like okay for what it was.
Well, spoiler alert. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I mean, I wasn't really.
Jimmy got a review copy and he gave it to me. And I was like, good, I don't want to pay for that fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
It's not a piece of shit. It's just that it completely. You're a Futurama fan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one of everyone's favorite episode is the one with the dog, Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But if you watch Bender's Big Score, it completely undermines that episode because it means Fry was there with the dog the whole time, and so there's no reason to feel sad. I kind of feel like that's what happened with that. It kind of completely undermines
the sad ending too.
Not sad ending, but like it undermines the relationship of Mike and Sully.
Mm-hmm.
Like. They're really good friends. And they always have been friends. Like, why are they lying to each other? Like, during the typical exposition, it's like, buddy, we've been pals since high school. And then you watch it, it's like, no, they were friends in college. It makes me completely question their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And also, they're talking to each other, so they're not trying to play it up for anybody. So now you've created a plot problem in the first movie. And also, why does Randall need to have... Randall becomes the picked on kid, but instead of getting the one up at the end, he continues down to be evil because they didn't show him kindness and respect. And I'm like, and granted, is it a funny movie? It's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that stuff they nail. But like, why? Why did you have to do that? I'd rather have you've taken a chance and failed horribly doing a sequel. And that's where like, I remember everyone did Finding Dory and even Incredibles 2 are like, oh, how are they going to do this one? Incredibles 2, it's like it's superheroes. You probably can't mess that up.
Yeah.
But Finding Nemo, how are you ever going to do a sequel? It's like, no, they did a good job. It's different than the first one, but it's not. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, first one's a little bit better in a different way. But it's not bad either. It's a really good movie. But I give Stanton way more fucking props and it's like for Pete Docter. Fucking make a sequel. Don't let people make fucking prequels of your shit.
I would see that sequel.
Monsters Inc. still is one of my favorites. Like Monsters Inc., Ratatouille, Toy Story 2. Like I keep going back between Ratatouille and Monsters
Remember
Inc.
when Monsters Inc. came out?
November of 2002.
Wow. So yeah, that was 2 years before Incredibles.
Yeah.
So that's why I was even more surprised. Everyone was surprised it took so long for Incredibles 2 to come out.
Yeah.
But I was figuring like, oh man, how are they going to resist going back to Monsters Inc.? Everyone loves Monsters Inc.
Right.
So they do a prequel. So I guess they halfway did it.
They did. And also like there's a monster that Helen Mirren plays, which is a good character, but poorly handled. Like there's no, I don't know. You know what? We'll have you back on and once you see that one, we'll talk about that. It just really made me... It made me very unhappy. Like, as a matter of fact, every time we're flipping through, because we have, you know how you get the digital code on DVDs?
Yeah. Movies
Anywhere combines all of them now. So if you have Ultraviolet and whatever and Flickster, it puts them all on, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because I hate Flickster and Ultraviolet. So one of them, though, is because I got my free code from that free press copy. I have Monsters University, and it's just in there. And every time I walk by it, I always say something. My wife's like, we know you don't like the movie. Don't give us your rant right now.
Unnecessary.
Let's watch Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Good choice.
Compromise.
Compromise. Oh, there's no compromise there at all. That's straight up like, I'll gladly fucking stop talking about that. But the fact that Brad Bird didn't do a prequel, and I mean, technically,
I would have rioted.
Well, here's the thing, though, too.
Prequel. Don't you dare.
But you kind of get that anyway in these movies. You get hints of what happened before, as long as it justifies and furthers the story.
Yeah.
Like for me, what really made me sad was not sad like in a bad way, but like it made me nostalgic and sad for those characters. Like Gazer Beam, they talked about Gazer Beam a lot, and I'm just like, oh, Gazer Beam. And there's a part of me that would like to have seen his journey till the end, a little bit. And I'm still glad they didn't show it, because that's part of the mystery of the first movie. But like, it just makes you feel a lot more worse. And that's the one thing I'm kind of sad they didn't mention, or at no point someone didn't say, which is like, oh, all the superheroes are dead.
Yeah.
They've been murdered by Syndrome. Like, I mean,
most of them,
that and
were
the
killed.
noobs over there, they're pretty much it. You know? Yeah. I mean, so that was cool. By the way, for those who don't know the plot of the movie, it takes place right after the end of the first one with the Underminer, and something kind of derails a bit, and superheroes are not out of the spotlight in a good way yet. And there are these two people. I don't remember their names right now, but I know it's
Winston and Evelyn.
Yes. I'm still going to look it up just in case. Mm-hmm. But the concept is that...
Because there's a little wordplay with their names that some people might catch.
Well, I didn't I got Evelyn. By the way, it's Dever. Yeah, it's Dever. Deavor. Winston Dever. What's Winston's? It's Win...
Well, his doesn't so much. I think it's
I know
mostly
Evelyn,
hers.
though, is evil...
Yeah, Evelyn Dever. Evil Endeavor.
Evil Endeavor. Yeah, it took me a second. So I knew it was something evil. By the way, so spoiler, Evelyn is the bad guy. But when you're watching it, it's clear to me, it was like, oh, Winston's going to be the bad guy. It's Bob Odenkirk, who's good at doing anything.
Yeah.
And Catherine Keener usually plays the role of the embattered woman, but who's not really bad. Has the heart of gold. And I dug the shit out of that.
Yeah.
Because I was like, they should really make her the bad guy.
I realized halfway through, which is based on how much I watch movies, it's too long. It always takes me too. It's because I always want to believe in the story I'm being told. I don't want to bust it apart too early. I want to be like, I might be surprised. I'm not going to make conclusions. So it was only
but you do anyway.
A little bit. So halfway through, which like I said is too late. I should have already guessed. I was like, oh, I know who it is, and I thought it was going to be both of them.
I thought that too, where they switched it out.
The fact that one of them didn't know, I was like, you know what? That was kind of a predictable twist, but the fact that you had them at odds with each other.
Yeah.
That's still kind of interesting enough that I'm cool with it.
Oh, right. Oh, and also some of the wordplay, right when they reveal it's her, it's that beautiful shot where Elastigirl's in the room and they're trailing her. She's kind of monologuing to her. And she just goes, I forget how she words it, but she's just like, Winston knows what he knows. And you're like, oh, so they are in it together. Fuck. Because I really like him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you realize, no, he's not.
It would have been kind of boring. Because it's first movie, new character pops up. Oh, he's a bad guy from the past. And this one's new characters. There's no way they could actually have any good in them or
right.
It just ruins the interestingness of the plot.
Yeah, exactly. And
neat.
Oh, okay. Now I will say a complaint I had with the movie because again we're just jumping all over the place.
Let's do it.
The Void. I like that character a lot, but once they took the fucking glasses off, why didn't someone tell her to open a void in front of the boat and open another void over there? End of the movie.
Listen.
I mean, not the end of the movie, but I mean, they watch it, they would hit Hawaii or something and kill a bunch of people in Hawaii. But still, they'd have more time to think about how they could stop it.
Brad Bird's got an out. Visually, you never see her do a void that I think is much bigger than 10 feet.
That's true.
So maybe she can't, or maybe she's still too new and it's scary to make it.
It's kind of like Elastigirl. She can stretch herself as much as she wants, but it could hurt her.
There are limits.
There are limits, and it's how far has she stretched recently. Yeah. No pun intended. And then, one
of the first times we saw a super weakness in this one when she had her
the cold.
She's you try to stretch now, you're gonna break your arms off. So don't even try.
That was such a good. I mean, it's the Fantastic Four without the Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
the whole Dash and Violet thing was cracking me up. I mean, they always usually do, but I really enjoyed Violet's turn on this movie, because before she was the I don't want to be a superhero, and he's like she kind of does, but now the boy thing, and she's just all pissed.
Yeah.
And then the dad, incredible, Mr. Incredible. Bob cracks me the fuck up. I still, to this day, in my brain, since I saw that this last week, and the trailer doesn't really do it justice, but come on, num cookie,
hilarious,
right? And like,
because Frozone shows up and he's like freaking out, unsure, and like Bob is so worn out, but he's like so practiced that just like he's like, come on, cookie, I know you want it, like
right. And it's that weird, and it's and the fact that he was able to get the voice acting from Craig. I mean, Craig T. Nelson's a good actor,
yeah,
but like. He sounds exhausted.
Yeah. Because you guys haven't seen that part of the trailer. It's when Jack teleports into like another dimension, and the only way that he can get him to come back and pop into our reality is by tempting him with a cookie.
And here's the thing is that the trailer is funny, but watching it in the order that it was meant to be seen, it's just so much more funnier than it is in the trailer. And I've not seen a lot of times in movies where I've seen that. You know what I mean? Where I just
you saw the joke already, but then you watch it in theaters and you're like laughing
God damn,
your head
that's
off.
just so funny. Like even think about it now, I'm smiling because it's just so nom cookie, come on. Just so good.
The desperation in his voice.
And also, okay, my wife is a teacher, and the whole thing like we've had that argument about Common Core.
Yeah.
And I don't have kids.
Math is math.
Math is math. Math is math. You don't change math. Well, Dad, they do now. They do it this way. Why would they do that? Why would they change math? It's a very, I mean, yeah. It's Jack does steal the show, I will say, in my opinion. He, not in a bad way. He completely steals the show. Like anytime he's on the screen, the movie's just alive.
Yeah.
It's great. And it's just gold. I mean, it's such a weird thing. And as a matter of fact, I wonder the dynamic now that they all know that Jack has those powers. I would love to see the Incredibles dynamic with baby Jack.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be some freaky ass shit. I mean, it's
if
like...
they ever do another story, they should probably do a time jump. Because I feel like they continued and wrapped up kind of like the arc. The arc of the first and second.
Yeah.
Parenting, coming to your powers, a little bit of like political friction, you know, cultural divides. And then I feel like next is, okay, what's happening? Like, how does this progress in the future? Because you got these kids and they're going to grow up. What's going to be like when their parents are older, maybe can't help out as much or something.
Right. Well, and I mean, that's kind of one of the things in the movie.
That wrapped it up pretty nicely, actually. The kids taking care of the parents.
That would be...
Oh, man.
See, I love that. Well, and I mean, look, you go after life experience when you're a director. And Brad Bird, I feel, does that. Like, like he loved growing up in the 50s and The Iron Giant, which is a fantastic movie.
You feel it.
You feel it. Like there's a part of me that would not want to live in the 50s, but he makes it so charming and so it's Norman Rockwell-esque.
Yeah. And you get that feeling with The Incredibles also.
Oh, well,
more 60s maybe, but
yeah.
like retro futurism.
Let's talk about The Outer Limits and Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
Which was really fucking cool. But
oh, you mean because I knew it. He had clips from them in the movie.
Yeah.
On the TV. And I was like, oh, that's such a Brad Bird thing to put in there.
Oh, it is. But then it makes me go, so wait, are they in like a weird hyperlized version of the 60s?
The technology's super advanced, but everything looks like it's old-fashioned.
Well, remember Dick Tracy? It's like the 20s and 30s, but it's like they have the wristwatch radios and the TVs on them.
Yeah.
And whatever. And it's cool. But then now we look at the Apple Watch and you're just like, well...
This is a computer on my wrist.
This is a computer on my wrist, and kind of does TV. It doesn't look great.
That's weird. Could you watch a video on an Apple Watch?
That's a good... Okay, I really don't know. I'm assuming you can, but it's going to be shitty.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. You're looking at it.
This is great. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's the thing is, like, if you really look at the way it looks on a drawn arm, it looks cool. But then when you have to do it in reality, you're just like, that honker, it has to be a honking huge watch.
Yeah.
So you can go, oh, that's very clearly the outline of your face there, big bad boy Caprese or whatever. The fuck your name is, Al Capone.
Fuck your name is.
What the fuck your name is? I wanted to say Al Capone, and I really meant to say Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. God, that's a great movie, by the way. I think it holds up well.
Which one?
Dick Tracy. If you ever get a... I haven't seen it in a while.
I feel like I watched it when I was a kid. I haven't seen it in a long
Yeah,
time.
I watched it probably, I think Netflix had it, but right before Disney had their big thing with Netflix where they almost took everything off and then they put everything back in. But I don't think Dick Tracy's still on there now, but I watched it then because it came up. I was like, oh, fuck, Duck Tracy.
Take a drink.
All right, that's right. Take a drink. Not the classic Warner Brothers cartoon either. It's that Warren Beatty film, Beatty Booty. But no, yeah, it's a good movie. I can't remember the girl. She passed away this last year. The girl who plays in that. She was in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and Mr. Holland's Opus. Mm-hmm. Wonderful actress. I can't think of her name, but she is Dick Tracy's love interest in that. She's really good. The kid from Can't Hardly Wait, Charlie Cost. He's in Hook. That was one of his other big movies when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And then he shows up. Then he quit to go to MIT and become a Republican.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So close.
That was a wild ride.
Yeah, it was. And then he came back and did Can't Hardly Wait because he's like, you know what? I think I can handle the workload and do a movie and get back into it. And he's one of the best parts of that movie is Can't Hardly Wait.
Incredibles 2.
See, did you think we would get this far off the beaten path? Because when I said
didn't.
that,
I'm impressed.
See?
Yeah.
I aim to please and surprise all at the same time. I didn't say I was pleased. Well, Bob, you're not wrong. A sad thing is, or Rick Dicker, the original guy, Bud Lucky, passed away.
I could tell.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know this. He was the original voice of Eeyore.
Oh, dude.
And he's done Eeyore the whole time.
Yeah.
Up until... So when you watch the trailer for Christopher Robin...
I mean, I guess I didn't assume that the person passed away, but I was like, so strange. I feel like everyone's voices are the same but his.
I can't think of the guy who did the original voice of Winnie the Pooh, but Jim Cummings does a really good... Oh, bother. He does that. Mm-hmm. I can't think of... He's also the voice of Ka. The name's drawn blank on me, too. Oh, not completely full. Oh, it's a boy man cub. I can't do it.
It's hard.
It is hard. Of all the impressions I can do... oh, bother. I have hints of it, and if I just worked on it, I could probably get it. But
I feel like if I tried, my throat would vibrate weird, and it would tickle, and I'd have to stop. Because there's just a certain, raspy...
You have to fight through it.
No.
You have to fight through it, yeah.
It's like, ugh.
No, but now here's the fun fact. The guy who does that also voices Darkwing Duck. I am the terror that flaps. He's also the voice of Bonkers.
Wow.
And Lucky Piquel. Boom! Just drop some voice acting knowledge, Bob. Boy, Bob. Take a drink. You've been bobbed. You know what? I'm gonna make a shirt and it says "You've been bobbed." No one will get that. It'll be great. At the back, it's on the front. And on the back, it says "Take a drink."
You know it, Bob.
The good, the bad, and the geeky. No, but Jim Cummings and other weird fun fact for you. If you like Disney films, The Lion King, he is the singing voice of Scar, but for only one part. Yeah. Be prepared, obviously.
I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah. There's the part where you won't get a sniff without me. Bum, 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 bum. It's great that will soon be connected. Or no. Fuck. Anyway, it leads up into the finale of the song. Tenacity spanning, decades of denial is simply wow. That's Jim Cummings. What happened was Jeremy Irons got really sick, and it's the last thing they had to record for Scar, and he's just like, I'm not coming in. I'm done.
Wow.
And so he's like...
Someone do a Jeremy Irons.
Well, right, and so they got... And that's why if you hear it, it's different enough, but because the song is so good, and Jeremy Irons, like, everything's so good about that, like, if you hear it now, you can go, oh, yeah, that's a different guy singing. But if not, you can't really tell.
Good for them. That movie's like the Excalibur of movies. It's just like, man, was this forged in a dying star? How did you...
It really is. Like, and then, sadly, Disney's like, let's take a scene, any scene from that movie, and replicate it in every other movie, kind of, which made me sad. Like, every movie has a stampede, up until, I think, Lilo and Stitch. Every fucking movie.
Like, it worked well last time.
Let's add a baboon... Whatever I just said, Stampede and Tarzan. And you're like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Mulan. There's a lot. Mulan. Oh, God, yeah. It's the army.
Yeah.
Stampede. Like, Jesus. And they're always coming over a hill. At least Tarzan, it's like, we're on vines? We're on vines. We're on vines.
We're all on vines now.
We're on vines. And that doesn't look as bad, but it does follow the same... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
And that relates to The Incredibles because Jack comes over a hill playing Mozart and it pisses him off. And
Yes.
so that's a half truth, half lie. And I didn't know this. Someone pointed this out to me during Jack Jack Attack. The thing that sets him off is she plays Baby Mozart. And Jack Jack loses his shit.
Oh.
And that's when the powers start really kicking into overgear.
Because Edna plays it, doesn't she, for him? And
well, that's what she says. And so that's like a little, ha ha ha, did you watch the baby? That's a callback. If you are so inclined. And I was just like, oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. But that's, and can we talk about Edna? Damn Edna. Fucking, dear God.
Yeah.
If you had to tell me that I would want to see a movie of just her babysitting him, I would say you're full of shit. That would be horrible. I feel like they would stuff a message down at the end of the movie, and I'd hate it.
It's like one of those odd couple situations.
God,
it works well together.
Yes, but yes. Yeah, I mean, I thought, okay, me trying to guess ahead would go, oh, when they comes back, it'll probably be something like that, but it's really like she doesn't love the kid, though.
Yeah, she's just like about the fashion or something, but then...
Right, but she genuinely loved that kid. I'm like, I did not really see that coming. Because, and I did say, and my wife kind of agreed with me, we do think that her in with the kid is that he has so many powers. Think of what I can do.
Yeah.
And then she really cared about the kid after. Like, that wasn't... I was like, that's still acceptable. Because that's her character.
Yeah. She grew as a character.
Oh, what? Right. Well, right. And because at some point, she does care about Bob and all of them. You know what I mean? But at what point did that happen? You know what I mean? Because before... yeah, and also, why is it every time she's always... I mean, I know she's short, but why don't you just get a thing that's lower so you can... That's just... Hello, Robert.
Maybe the webcam setup is too stylish for her to mess with. So she's like, I'll just lean into the camera again.
I just lean into the camera, darling. I don't have time to deal with that. And then she...
And Jack following, mimicking her. That was the best.
Oh, my God. That's because that... And they never really brought that up again, really. Which made me super excited, too. Because I was like, is that going to come back at the end? And they never did. I was like...
It's great. Jack's... powers could always be a surprise, which I think was to their benefit.
Oh yeah,
story wise. And then also when it first came out, I almost thought they did a retcon because when he's discovering Jack had powers, I was like, wait, I mean he did a lot of stuff at the end. Are they going to go back and say that didn't happen? And I realized if you watch the movie, everything that happens that they witness happens 50 to 100 feet, hundreds of feet in the air.
Right,
and then he falls and he's a normal baby.
Yeah.
And this takes place right after that. So it is totally conceivable that after their house was destroyed and they couldn't look at the evidence.
Yeah.
They're just oh, we got our baby back.
Right. And matter of fact, I think one of the things was right before he flings her up there, she's like, what's happening up there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Throw me, Bob. All right. And then she wings him up, or he wings her up. Yeah. I'm just like, whoa, yeah.
How did you not mess this up? It all connects and there's continuity.
Oh, God. It's because it took them 14 years, by the way.
That's right.
Yeah, it took them 14.
Never mind. Question answered.
By the way, and you're Sean, where did you see, this is Ohio Talk, so I apologize. Where did you see the movie at, if you don't mind me asking?
Carriage Place near my house on Bethel.
We saw it at Marcus at 23. Yep. It is really good. I will say, and we've said this before, so I won't go too long, but the audience level, on opening weekend, it's kind of more tame. Lennox, for some reason, gets the more super nerdied out. And then I'm not talking about, rude about it. Fun, it's almost like a Broadway show. They laugh when they laugh. I like how I clapped when I did that. Take a drink, everybody. They laugh when they laugh. They clap when they clap. It's like you're going to a live show, and it adds to the fun of what you're seeing.
Yeah, it's a group activity more.
Incredibles 2, we were just we're going to go to Marcus and watch it just because it's just more comfortable there, and I do like the theater a little bit more when it's 2D. Mm-hmm. So we saw it, and right before the movie, before the short, which is weird, and we should probably talk about that too.
Oh, yeah.
They showed a thing that's 14 years. 14 years. Yep, it's been 14 years, people. And then Samuel Jackson's like, why the heck did they wait 14 years? We hope you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, did they show that for you guys too?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just making sure. I'm
it's worth saying.
It is worth saying.
So weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, the modern age. Just no, this is a direct sequel.
That is true. I mean, it's not like Weekend at Bernie's 2, which took, 8 years to make? And then it comes, or Gremlins 2. You know what I mean?
Or it also feels there's sequels like Dumb and Dumber, where you're just okay, this is a long time, but it's because they're just like, we'll make money.
Right.
This feels like it's actually a sequel. They're interested in making it like a good addition to the story, and it's not just like, remember that movie you liked?
Hey, kid. Hey, yeah, you.
There's a 2 on it.
There's a 2. Hey there, missy. You want a bright, shiny new 2? We have old characters, new situations. Instead of turning left, they now turn right. And they have feelings about that right turn.
Tune in to find out.
Tune in to find out. Also, there's a hint for a trailer of the 3rd movie. Yeah. Did you stick around for the credits?
What are you saying? I watched a good chunk of it, and they didn't have any the first time.
Okay, so did you hear the theme songs to all the characters?
Oh, that they referenced in the movie? No.
Yes. That's
a good idea.
That's really the only Easter egg they have, but it's still really fucking, like, Frozone is like fucking Shaft.
Of course.
It's so good. Like, yeah. Like, I'm going like, God damn it, they actually did this. Fuck. Yes.
No, I gotta get the soundtrack.
I kind of do. Well, first off, it's Michael Giacchino.
However you say it, he's doing a lot of stuff, and it's good stuff.
And it's great stuff. And I still think his soundtrack to Cloverfield is one of the best monster film soundtracks ever, because the dude, it made me mad that Legendary didn't go to him for Godzilla, because when I listen to that, I just hear Godzilla, and I just go, God, I would have loved to seen that theme in Godzilla.
He's a talented
He's
dude.
such a good dude. And he loves the puns. Big fan of the puns.
Oh, and his titles?
Every title. Like, because at first I thought it was just a Lost thing, because he did the music for Lost.
Oh, okay.
And then the next big movie he did after that, I think, was Ratatouille, on top of Incredibles, Ratatouille, and then the Star Trek movies.
What a resume.
Yeah. But like all those movies, though, all the titles have silly puns in them. And I'm going like, nope, that's just him. Good for him. That's awesome. But that's a fun Easter egg. What else was I going to say about The Incredibles 2? The bad guy, what do we think of? I mean, Evelyn, but the screenslaver, what do we think of that?
I thought it was great.
I did too.
I thought it was a type of villain I wouldn't have really thought of myself.
Yeah.
So, of course, I think it's clever because I didn't think of it.
Right.
But just like a dynamic villain that you're curious about what all they can do. Because, I don't know. I guess the first time, their powers were used against them to, I guess, self-sabotage. They were working unknowingly on making this killer robot, better at killing supers.
Right.
So it would be a threat. In this one, it's just like, oh no, this time you're literally the weapon. Like, any of you. Like, as much as some of it was predictable as far as the twist, I was really excited 75% through the movie, because I was like, I don't know what the heck's gonna happen. Like, all the supers are brainwashed. Yeah. And the kids are alone. And I'm like, this is definitely different, like, a step further from the last one.
The moment it got to that point, I was like, I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen. Like, I know it's probably going to work out.
Sure.
But I don't know. I don't know how. I just know Jack's going to be involved somehow. I actually thought they would do something where they fire him like a laser, and that's how they save the day. But I don't think that's what happened. I mean, no, it did. When I was watching it, I was like, I don't think this is going to happen. I love being surprised.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, also like you, this is where my brain went, and I was surprised they didn't do it. When they do the flashback, because Winston and Evelyn, their father was a philanthropist who really supported the supers. And this is how, tying it back to what I said about Gazer Beam, they had 2 superheroes in particular, Gazer Beam, and I forget the other one. It was a guy
with fire.
Something with fire, and I think he had like the lightning bolt or something in his head, or I don't know. He's one of the ones. They were both ones who got killed, I think.
It was cool. They referenced ones that were, they were referenced in the first movie. And they're like, also other things that they happen, because these are characters who live full lives. Right. There are other stories that happened about them. Yeah.
Well, they have he had right after the law got passed and there was no more supers. Actually, it was a few years after that. Someone broke into the house and killed him. But in the burglary flashback, there are 2 people, and I was just like, was it Winston and Evelyn?
They killed their parents?
Right.
Whoa.
Well, I was like...
That would have been crazy.
Right. And I was like, that's why I was like, they're both the bad guys. Oh, well, maybe not. Maybe not. I think it's definitely Winston, though. And then it's Evelyn, and then she says that line. I was like, he could still be... That's what I'm saying. The movie was throwing me off the whole time, even though I pretty much knew it was both or one of them.
Yeah.
And I was just so pleasantly surprised by that. But like that was my brain trying to do that like for a half second, and then I was like,
well, I'm glad we're doing spoilers because this is ruining a lot of things. But did you see the little wink nod to possible plot for third one?
I feel like there's a few, possibly. Which one?
I hope to goodness it was a red herring, because that would. I mean, Brad Bird, I trust you with a lot of things, but that would be scary. The wink nod that I saw was they get Winston to help them defeat his sister and send her to jail. And first, Violet is like, oh, she's rich. She's not even going to serve that much time, probably. And then but Winston kind of like slinks off, and I think it's Bob. He's like, I think we're going to see that guy again.
Oh, I know. Yes. Like, he's just like, everyone knows she's going to get out, Dad. And he's just like, right, Mr. Dever.
Yeah.
Well, let's just not da-da-da-da. Like, he pushes her off, shoves her off. And no, I thought that too. And I was just like, wait, is he still the bad? No. But I really... Now, here's the thing. The part of me that really I hopes he doesn't make him a bad guy in the third one, if it is a wink. And then I'll be sad because it is. But then I'll still be excited because it's Brad Bird, and he'll probably fucking knock it out of the park. Was that my brain was that it's family. And that's
what I was just thinking. Like, maybe he doesn't necessarily turn evil, but he does try to get his like sister out. Well, and thinks he's got her under control. Maybe she messes something else up. I don't know.
Yeah, but also I actually felt real fear during the end. And again, I believe, like, when I watch a story, if you can get me engaged enough that I can suspend disbelief that A, it's a Disney movie.
Yeah.
B, it's a animated movie, which usually means it's a family movie. If you can have me suspend disbelief enough, you got me. And granted, it's also easy for me too, because if the story's good, I'm going to get sucked in.
Yeah.
But the scene with the pizza guy as Screenslaver and Elastigirl and that close quarters fight.
Oh my goodness, that was so dynamic.
It scared the shit out of me because I was like, she's getting the shit kicked out of her.
It was not an easy fight.
It was not an easy fight.
Thrilling.
It was, and now granted, I do feel bad for the people who have epilepsy and got.
So far, I've heard there's no actual cases of something going wrong, but a lot of people were like, "Hey, this is clearly a risk."
Right? You should look into this at the beginning. But so yeah, I too am glad that nothing has happened from that. But like, I remember watching that, I was like, "Don't look at it. Don't look like." And also, it's literally a boxed cage. It's a cage match. I mean, I'm not like a fun WWE superhero cage match. It's a
that's
tiny
why I felt fear for her, because I was like, this is a really well thought out plan. Like, how are you going to get out of this?
Right. But I mean, the great thing is that Bird doesn't do what normal today. Well, the Russo brothers don't do this, but I feel like other action movies, like Christopher Nolan was kind of a victim of this. They do the Michael Bay stuff where it's like constantly in your face close, and it's hard to tell what's going on. Or
lots of shaky cam, which and certain parts and like little amounts can be thrilling. It can add to it, but it can definitely be too much. Where you're like, what is happening? I don't know the stakes.
Right, but this felt very close quarters with all the camera shots, very planned, very methodical. That it felt even though it felt like you were in there with them, and that's what made it. I mean, I was enthralled, and terrified. I did not think I would.
Well, and you know what? Something that I don't feel like the Marvel movies are excellent, but I think most of what they haven't gotten too creative with like weaknesses. I think with
the heroes, because that's what made it interesting in this one for me was like multiple times they had devised ways to like counter. Oh yeah,
the powers. So like. One, when she was like restricted, not being able to stretch as much. The other time when she's in the fight in that close proximity and he's like zapping her limbs and she's slowly losing them. They're going limp and she's unable to use them. That ups the ante, It's not just like, oh, she'll stretch out of it.
And it's not something too where she has plenty of room to whatever, you know what I mean? Like and that's before the cage and then after the cage too, and in the cage. It's all before that. It's all that whole sequence. She's just getting her ass kicked.
Yeah.
And it's kind of intense because you're just like, well, she's Elastigirl. Like, she gives Bob Parr, aka Mr. Incredible, she can take his shit.
Yeah.
Jesus. You know what I mean? And she it's that joke, it's that line from Almost Famous. Well, I know when my old lady tells me to snap too. Like, that to me is a relationship, but a little bit more bickering probably, but she doesn't take his shit.
Yeah.
And then, because then she can do that clever, sexy thing. He's like, you must be more flexible. Yeah.
Yeah, Helen Parr's the shit.
She is, and you're just like, Jesus. And then you're watching this, you're going like, oh my God. And the other thing is too, is it's fully deserved. Fully deserved. It's well earned, that fear, I feel, because you care about the character. Weird, another Inception. The new Ninja Turtle movie, the first one.
First new one.
When they kick the shit out of Splinter, I started to cry because it's a brutal, like Shredder's beating the fuck out of this old rat. And I started to tear up, and then I got mad because I was like, but why do I'm watching, I'm like trying to internalize, like, why am I sad? Like, that rat's a shitty character. Like, this movie hasn't earned this.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting my nostalgia for what I love of the character, that the character exists.
Didn't actually organically make it happen.
Right. And then also there were plot problems, which is, which I found out later, which is like they're getting shot. Oh, they're getting shot with, Raph got shot with bullets at the beginning of the movie. They bounced off. But then Donatello gets hit with like a fucking dart.
No bullets, just darts.
What?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's another conversation. I'm going to reel it in, everybody. Matter of fact, if you know that I brought up turtles, you should already have a few drinks in you again. You should be really fucked up right now.
Here we go.
Right. But I mean, that's a good example of not earning that feeling. And like, they totally fucking earn it. Like, because I mean, granted, it does help if you've seen the first one, but like the idea that she knows what she's doing is wrong, you know what I mean? It's against the law.
Yeah.
But it's for her kids. It's kind of the discussion, like, that it could be, I say this lightly, parallel to things that are happening today.
Yeah.
Like, do I arrest that family who, you know, or...
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was so bold for them to comment on, you know, like the place of government, the place of what a citizen is called to do, what they, should hand off, because that's super relevant right now. Like,
yes, it is.
What our government's doing and dismantling some of its own.
Why is fucking Disney and Pixar, of all the ones, because they did that shit in Zootopia.
Yeah,
God damn. Right. I remember there was a theater full of kids, and my wife and I were watching that. We were, all the adults were laughing, and then like going, ooh. The only thing that the kids found funny was the Godfather reference, because the voice sounded funny.
Yeah.
That was it. They everything else was a little bit too, like, the adults are getting the Breaking Bad reference. They're getting like, I
need to buy that movie.
It's a damn good movie. My wife, she likes, I got her to be a nerd a little bit about movies, but like, it's a good sign when she goes, have you got Zootopia yet? Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Yes, I do.
I want them to have my money.
Yes. Please, shut up and take my money.
Well, I especially like about the Incredible films and Incredible 2 is that they do comment on real social and cultural issues and like political differences. I've heard people online especially complain because they thought like the moral of the movie seems a little iffy. It sounds a little like right to rule type stuff, like might makes right. And I'm like, I don't think the movie's actually setting. There's so much inside their own family. There's so much infighting and disagreement about how to do things. It's not pushing an agenda. It's saying literally like, even if you're a superhero, you don't know what to do sometimes. It's hard to know what the right thing is.
And also working together is better than not working together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of a holdover from the first movie. But I mean, in particular here, it's like, I mean, Dash and Violet are a perfect example of, they've been through the shit in the first movie. They still just don't want to work together because they're fighting over who watches Jack Jack.
Yeah.
And to them, that's such a bore. And then they lose Jack Jack at the end because Jack Jack is fucking crazy and has awesome powers, but he's out of control, And it's like, I miss one of the best parts is like Dash genuinely does not mean to lose Jack Jack, and then he's like can't find him. Like he's kind of like, I guess I'll just keep moving, and then him and Violet have to work together to save their parents and all that, which is really just a lot of fun. And they don't want to work together though, even though, and grand, that's the fun of brother and sibling rivalry and all that stuff. But no, you're 100% right. And I love that. I love all the little things they do with that.
So the characters all seem like they have opinions that make sense for them.
Oh yeah.
Like pitting basically brother against for sister with the Devers.
Yep.
And then the Pars obviously not agreeing, but working together when they have to, especially in a crisis.
Well, the dad, the whole movie, he kind of fails every step of the way.
Yeah. Well, so I heard complaints about that too. Like it relied to, sometimes I hate the internet because you can be like so pleased with something and someone just like picks like the worst like hot take trying to just be sassy about it and like make a point. But they're complaining because they thought it might be leaning too heavily like on the Mr. Mom angle, like, oh, men can't, take care of kids. And I'm like, again, don't think the film's saying that in the slightest. He was a person who went out to work when he had to stay at home mom. He wasn't used to it. He struggled, but he figured it out. And that was one of the most heartwarming parts for me, was like, he's like, one, frustrated and a little jealous of his wife.
Yes.
Two.
Oh, was it the scene where he's in bed talking to himself?
Yes.
Yes!
But he sticks with it.
Yes.
And you know what? He figures out he can still be headstrong about learning how to like take care of his kids. And he does it. And like, that was like the most like pro-father message I could have seen.
Well, and this is being a little heavy-handed here, but like all dads are Mr. Incredible, all moms are Mrs. Incredible. But like, he shows you why he's incredible. And it's the most unsuperheroic thing ever. And he's actually, it doesn't start off that way. Like, it's that, I love that scene. You're right, 100% right, because it wasn't the end of that sequence per se. You know what I mean? The scene where he keeps helping the kids. It was him being mad. It's like, of course you can do whatever. I mean, I could have been called out. He's just so pissed off and been there.
Sometimes you got to fake it till you make it. And that's okay.
And then he realizes what time it is, and he's like, I don't think he says it, but he's just like, school's going to start soon. My son doesn't have his homework done. And he's pissed off about it still. So he goes over, picks up the book, and he fucking learns how to do the math. And you're just going like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Fuck A. Yeah.
That was great.
It is. And then he got them off to school okay, and just had I think Violet had some issues, right? I think that was... Yeah.
Still at odds,
but still, like, he's starting to pick up what he's doing wrong. And of course, the joke is that, Dad, they're teaching me something. They're teaching me fractions. What? Like,
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the thing, is that you have to keep being super. You just can't do that one thing, which is cool too. But that's a great scene. Like, I expected that at the end of that scene where he kind of somehow fumbles his way through it. And then he's like, Dad, they're teaching us fractions. And then he does it again. And then he's like, has that feel good moment. No, they put that, like, I don't know. It was I fucking loved it.
It was I think it was well paced too.
Yeah.
Like, the point wasn't, oh, he's inept. It's like, no, this is hard.
It is hard.
But if you're a parent and it's your job, you make it happen.
You make it happen.
You're Mr.
Right.
Incredible,
Yeah. What else Samuel Jackson he's fantastic.
Always great.
Always great.
I think, and I'm glad he got to be in this more than the first one.
I did too. Yeah. Well, you got in the sense of the first one that he's a friend.
Yeah.
But like kind of distanced, but except for with Bob. He wasn't.
Because they live in a suburban area. He kind of lives in the city, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So they
hang out once in a while. Or they bowl every bowl.
They bowl. And I like that they called that too. She's like, I gave my husband crap for this. He was about a month ago, sitting at home, scanning for police, whatever.
I'm such a hypocrite.
And and it's just such a, but that's honesty. And Helen is smart enough and powerful enough to fucking admit that. You know what I mean? Bob sure as shit ain't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or that's his journey, is trying to admit that he's weak sometimes when he needs to not. Yeah. But I love Samuel Jackson. He was so good. And the fact that he was in it more, and also it made you feel even more so that they were good friends, not just like an old friend from the day kind of thing, but like they're really just here's the thing. I really can't find a lot of bad things to say about this movie. Like,
I think,
but do we want to try? Please do, sir, because I just have the void problem.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the whole part I'm watching. I was like, now granted, counterpoint to my own argument. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Is that the only people that saw that power really and knew who it was and how it worked was Violet and Helen. Mm-hmm. But still, Violet's there on the ship. Sorry, that was my only. But sorry, what issues did you have with the movie? Because I'm kind of coming up a little.
I think objectively, it might be as good as the first one.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Just looking at it, I think the only thing people could complain about, I feel, we gotta complain about something, right? We can't just enjoy it.
Yeah. Here's the thing: we might complain about. I thoroughly love that movie.
Yeah,
I would gladly pay $15 to see it again. I mean, money's tight for me, but I would still put money down if there weren't other stuff coming. That's how good I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to see it again.
But yeah, what
So if we're going to complain, and people have, it would be that basically the second one's different in that it's not as an emotional film, which I think Brad Bird's acknowledged. It's more of an action summer movie than the first one was.
Yes. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
So if I'm going to complain about that, I would say that because there's 3 or 4 scenes, separate scenes in Incredibles 1 that are just like top Pixar. Like the scene where Helen explains to her kids that threats are real and that they can't trust.
On the plane, right?
That some adults will hurt you and you can't trust them.
Yep.
Well, yeah, the plane, period. Her avoiding the missiles and trying to protect her kids. Then the talk she has with them on like the beach.
Oh, it's the beach. Sorry. Yeah.
And when Helen finds Bob and he's just excited to see her and she's so angry. And he's just like, I don't care. You can punch me. Like, I'm just so glad to see you. And when he admits that he's not strong enough to risk like his family, like, he can't even consider them being in danger because he's already been through that once and it broke him. Yeah. So like those couple of scenes for me are like some top Pixar Disney. And so that's the only thing, if you're measuring it against that, this one's more of like,
I'll agree with that.
Like a feel-good popcorn film.
I'll also throw in there too for it's kind of on top of that. It's kind of built on that. Is the scene where Syndrome and Mirage go in there and they're taunting to blow up the plane. I mean, I guess it's tied to the whole plane scene, but with Bob's end of it, which is then he grabs her and he's like, "I'll break her."
Oh man!
And he's like, and thing is too is that in mad props to Jason Lee.
He was good.
He was good. I mean, I like Jason Lee in general. I feel like he sometimes doesn't get a fair shake because it's like, oh, you're the dude who did Earl and the Kevin Smith movies. Yeah. But he was good in those. Like he did, is it Banksy? No, Banky in Chasing Amy, which it's that's a kind of a deep role for a Kevin Smith movie. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just that, the animation too, where he just is like, do it. Yeah. And it's like a weird little snarl, like, I want to see you do it. Yeah. And you can just see his rage and anger, and then he's just, and my take is that Helen would never want me to do this. That's my thing. And then he just is sad. Yeah. And then he just lets her go. And like he's defeated in the worst way. Like just all across the board defeated. Like he can't even avenge his wife and kids. Yeah. Kind of thing. And sometimes I think it's because of the principle of it too. You know what I mean? And God damn it, such a good. So you're 100% right. Like that whole thing is just really, and compared to this movie, we have the homework scene.
Yeah, we have struggling to be a good parent. Yeah, and the fight scene. I'm not as emotionally involved, but the whole like finding out Evelyn, like I don't know, hearing her do a little bit of exposition was really satisfying to me. Yeah, because she was just a really competent bad guy. She was. And you're just like, I'm scared of you because you know what you're doing.
Well, she's a strong woman, too. And I think, let's be honest, we don't see a lot of them, sadly, in film, like this caliber. I mean, we do, but we don't. Yeah. The Bechdel test.
Especially because, like, I feel like in a lot of these other, like, big budget movies, you get female strength and just like, this one's a ninja. Not really like this one is, like, legitimately clever, has their own interesting motivations. It's just like, she can punch, too. Like, that's not interesting. Right. Evelyn Dever is scary and intelligent and like also charming. So you're like, I like you too, but you're bad.
Like that's the thing too, is you're watching the scenes with her at the party and it's her and Helen having a conversation. And like
that was amazing. They're literally just having drinks and talking. Two women like hanging out.
And they're equals in a way too. Because that's the thing Helen is technically savvy. Technology savvy. Technically.
Oh yeah.
Technically, yeah.
She can like fly. She can fly like anything.
She can. Okay. By the way, isn't the Mohawk a type of a motorcycle? Or is she literally meaning a Mohawk?
I thought she meant literally a Mohawk.
Because so my nerd brain goes, I swear to God, it was a type of like a bike. But at the same time, I was like, no, I think she means the hairstyle. I just don't know. I mean, it's probably the hairstyle. Yeah. But there's a part of me because it wouldn't surprise me if she had fucking both.
I mean, she was
she's badass.
You can tell there's clips of her from the first one where she's just like super like outgoing personality, like confident in herself. So you're like, I bet she had like some wild times.
Well, and there's that great shot too, and I love it every time. And there's a sentimentality to it, and they don't focus on it, but it just, you ache for her a little bit, which is when, before she gets on the plane, she picks up the phone and calls her pilot friend. And there's a photo. It's a very young Helen looking like Amelia Earhart, going like a little nerdy kid with the pilot friend. And I love that scene where she's just looking at it. And it's just, there's the weirdest bit of emotion I get every time. And it's just damn good filmmaking. Like,
he's good at making you understand that there's like it's a full story.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
So now we're talking about what's great about them again.
Yeah.
What other complaints could we throw out there regarding the lack of heart, which is very true.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say, I mean, this is a stretch. You could say Evelyn getting the shit kicked out of her, not Evelyn, sorry, Helen getting the shit kicked out of her by the pizza boy was kind of, but that's intense.
Yeah, that was more like scary, intense.
That's not emotional heart, though. That's just like, oh, we care about that character. We don't want him to die.
I know some people might not be into it, but I definitely liked the whole Violet sub thing. Like, sure, it was a little of like a typical,
I did too.
Two people on different pages kind of thing, but watching her go through it, it felt so real. It felt like exactly what it's like to be like a teenager and be like, I'm so freaking mortified. Like,
well, right, and she just got her confidence too.
Yes,
that's what's so sad is that it's like, I mean, and Grant, I also appreciated too that they had Bob come clean on that. Like, and just here's the thing: if you had to tell me on paper that's what would have happened, I'm like, oh, I fucking hate that trope. It didn't feel like a trope. It felt earned. It felt like these two characters, like he really genuinely feels horrible when he tells her. He's just like, you do know, man, I'm sorry. I'm not an incredible dad. I messed it up.
That was a really good scene too, because I was worried. I don't know why I didn't trust Brad Bird. I was worried they weren't going to like really pay off with that storyline. Mm-hmm. I thought it was just going to be like, oh, the audience knows why he doesn't remember. And they were going to like drop it. But they actually had a payoff where it's like, oh, I did that. Yeah, I'm the reason your date went, failed.
Well, okay, but here's the thing. We have people that we love and respect in the film world, and sometimes they do stupid shit in their movies when they write and direct them, and you're just like, what you doing, Bob? Yeah. Don't know what the fuck you're doing. You just bobbed it.
Bobbed all over it.
You bobbed all over it. It's not a bomb at the box office, but you bobbed all over it. Like, I enjoyed Ready Player One, but there were some mistakes in that movie to make it more engaging, I think, to the audiences on an emotional level. Because I never
felt like it was really like it wasn't the envelope,
but it wasn't meant to really though either.
Yeah.
I think for Spielberg, it was meant to get him back in the like money.
So like, hey, I can do it.
I can still do it. But the thing is that no one did go, well, we doubt you.
Yeah.
No, it was anyway. I think he needed to do it for himself, and that's good too. Nothing to do with The Incredibles. Not even like that where I thought of Steven Spielberg and then I thought of Ron Howard. Do you think it's funny that after it came out, it pretty much kind of came out that Ron Howard's deal was he shot like 70% of the movie, not 20.
Yeah.
And then it was announced that they're having active talks for Willow 2.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder.
The zeitgeist works weird now.
I kind of
people are talking on Twitter. Let's make that movie.
But I mean, they're like Lucasfilm is saying that we're actively having talks. That's the way I heard it was. And I just think that here's what I think happened. They came to Ron and Ron was just like, Harrison, you got more Indiana Jones. I would like Willow 2, please. He's like, meanwhile, on Arrested Development, he's like, Ron went up to Kathleen and said, I want to do Willow 2. No. How about I do it or I don't save your ass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's have talks about Willow 2. I'm just saying.
If that happens, it's going to blow my mind. Because I watched that as a little kid, as like a movie most people my age didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's good, but it feels like an origin movie.
Yeah.
You're like, they kind of build these characters and they get a rapport and it's like this whole world that you've seen a little bit of. Everyone's still alive.
Yeah. I'm very terrified that I said that because sadly we lost Carrie, but I'm sorry. That is a weird thing, but I have no one else to really movie wise to tell that to.
Yeah.
And I thought this probably 3 days ago and it's just been on my mind because I just was like, Willow 2. Like I love that movie. Of course I want a sequel. Wait, I wonder if that was part of the deal. Cause that's how they got Ford to come back for Star Wars. He's like, I want to do one more Indiana Jones film.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
He said that in like 1 or 2 interviews, and then he talked about how no, I love the fandom. It's my favorite. I just am grumpy all the time and whatever. I know do complete disservice to Harrison Ford's horrible voice, but and yeah, if you want a good impression, listen to Mark Hamill.
Yeah,
it's great. So Incredibles 2, though, what else do we not like? Because again, we're finding more things we like about the movie.
We're a little one note. I apologize.
No, it's okay. But here's the thing. I mean, we've deep dived all kinds of shit in this.
Yeah.
Someone said that there are like 5 references to A113. I only saw one.
Which
it was? I think it was when Helen was looking at one of the computers. It was like in the background or something like that on the screen. But they said it was like in there. Also, there was a building that had the logo that said Quest on it.
What?
But I swear to God, I saw it because
with those Easter eggs, dude.
So someone told me that Johnny Quest was in the movie, and I thought nothing of it. But it's in the back there. It's noodling around, and it's one of the scenes where she's going through the city, and it's when it's raining. So I think it's the night of Screenslaver battle.
Yeah.
In the distance, if there's a building, I swear to God, it says Quest. And the logo, the classic Johnny Quest logo. No Johnny, just Quest.
Yeah.
And then I was like, is that it? That's cool, but what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean they all exist? What?
Yeah, this doesn't actually answer anything.
And then the clip appears, and I'm like, wait, what? What?
So like, it's a cartoon in this movie, so it's got to be, I don't know.
But is it a cartoon based after heroes? Oh! How did
it's like Logan with the X-Men comics?
Oh, yeah.
Don't believe this crap.
It's like, that never happened. We were over there.
Let's not get on Logan tangent. It will never end.
Oh, God, yeah. So what else? I mean, can we find anything else? I mean, here's the thing. Brad Bird, I mean, outside of Tomorrowland, he makes solid movies.
They're always well constructed.
Even Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, it's a solid movie for being a Mission Impossible movie. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that you could probably complain about is why is Jeremy Renner there? Because you like him, he's a good character, but why is he there? And that's another story too.
Just to be another person.
That's cool. Because then you're like,
we have too few people in this film.
But then, but then the question is he? I don't know. Is he fodder?
Yeah.
And then you realize, or is Ethan fodder? No, that wouldn't happen. Because remember, that was the story of what was going to happen. And then halfway through, Brad Bird came on, and Tom Cruise was just like, we don't want to kill Ethan off.
Yeah.
Or take him out.
I want to make 3 more.
Yeah. Which, whatever. But I really, so he does a good movie. Even movies he didn't, he doesn't own fully right.
Yeah.
The movie's still just a good movie.
He puts it together well.
He does. And so it's really hard for me to, I'm sure if I watched it a second time, I'd find something super nitpicky. I can't think of anything. This is one of those times where it's really genuine, like Marvel movies. I love Marvel movies, but I can nitpick the shit out of those.
Definitely.
Like, really, I can't really fucking nitpick any of this. Like Iron Giant, I feel, is kind of the same way too. Like, it's just really, I don't know. I feel like if people complain about this, I feel like they're just, sincerely, I feel like it's just them complaining. It's kind of that what's that one meme? It's like, shh.
Let people enjoy things.
Yes. But I feel like this one is legitimate. It's like, get off your ass, whatever high horse your ass is on.
Yeah.
And just fucking enjoy the movie. Like, here's the thing. Do you like that they did X, Y, or Z? Well, then that's on you. Again, all art is subjective, but I'm
going to have to look it up. I don't know what the runtime is for 1 versus 2, because I'm
looking it up right now. Incredibles 2. What were you, finish your thought.
I'm thinking the second one is longer than the first one, and I could see a newcomer being like, it was too long. But for me, as someone who was enjoying it, I was like, yes, give me all the plot points.
Okay, so the second one is 118 minutes. Please wait as Wikipedia loads.
It just had a lot of things in it. A lot of plot points happening.
115 minutes to the first one.
What?
Right?
So there was just a lot more that happened in this one. Because there was like 3 or 4 plot lines.
Well, I feel like the first one, they had smaller moments. There was a lot more, the pacing was still fast, but it feels like a smaller movie.
It does.
Even though it's not in this one. I remember watching the motorcycle sequence in this one. I'm going like, Jesus.
I'm like, whoa,
right.
Whoa.
And then I'm just like, can she do that? Fuck yes, she can. She's Elastigirl.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn. Like, yeah. Whoa. Huh, okay. How's she going to get on the train? Yeah. You're just. Well, is she going to overextend herself and hurt herself? Because they throw that line out there.
Yeah.
And then no, she just fucking is badass and gets on it anyway. Sorry.
So that's why it feels so much longer. One, there's more plot lines because you've got like Violet's got her own thing, Bob's got her own thing, Helen's got her own thing, but then also, geez, in the original, actual like full on action sequences, I feel like there's pretty much like 3. Like you see him kind of fight in the beginning, but it's a short sequence. It's most about introduction than the action.
Yeah, set up the world that they're in.
Then you see him have a little fight with the robot, and then they have like the big fight at the end. Mostly.
Well, I would say there's 4 because
before they leave the island, they've got like fighting the bad guys, the goons, and then they have the one in the city.
But it's not like a huge fight scene. Well, yeah, the one in the city, I don't think that's a big thing either. It's they go into a fire, and is that what you're thinking?
No, I'm talking about like when they fight the big robot in the city at the very end. That's like the big set piece from the first one.
Right, but I thought you said there was something in the beginning of the first one though, where they fight or
just the introduction when he's like stopping the train.
But so there's the train sequence at the beginning. That whole intro is pretty much a sequence. It's the AKA Bob and Helen get married.
Yeah,
that whole thing, and sets up the world. It's not just them; it's the world that the supers live in, which is pretty cool. But also, don't forget that when they get on the island, it becomes a nonstop suspense / action movie.
Yeah, like thriller.
But still, it's slower moving. Like you have the scene with the kids, because then it has one of my favorite delivery lines. It's like, wait, Mr. Incredible, Elastigirl, and they got busy. Yeah. Right, and so that whole scene.
The way he skirts adult humor is so.
Oh, right.
Right on the edge.
Now, I will say a friend of mine on Facebook, their only complaint with the movie was the language in this one. There was one hell, one damn, and like every character said, "Oh my god." Now, granted, I don't find "Oh my god" to be offensive.
Some people do,
and there's nothing wrong with that. But when I I remember when they did say "damn," that threw me off for a second.
I feel like there's one damn in the first one. I swear I can imagine Bob saying it.
Okay, but yeah, because this one it was Winston that said it. It was him and his sister were talking. And it's like, well, damn, we'll figure it out. Don't worry about it. You just keep trucking and doing what you're doing. Or it's like a very throwaway line. Like he's genuinely surprised. But here's the thing: is that when we got out of the movie, my wife and I looked at because we don't have kids, but like we actually were like that made it feel more like a Marvel movie, like in a normal adult film. And then my biggest argument too is with people is that I don't like cussing in kids movies. Well, hold on, whoa. What makes this a kids movie? I don't think Brad Bird would view this as a kids movie. He might view it as a family film.
Yeah, but he's not trying to like talk down or like water it down. But
counter argument, it's a Disney pushing a family fun kids movie with superheroes, and then you're like, oh, that's the one thing that's again. But my wife and I were both like, we enjoyed it. If we had kids, we probably wouldn't enjoy it because the kid would be like, damn, which I think is what happened to her son. He's a mimic and he knows it's a bad word. He's like, Mom, why do they say damn all the time? Damn. And you're just like, goodness. Oh no.
All right, that's a valid concern.
No, it's a valid concern. But again, I'm like finding things
I don't think kids would have noticed, but for me as an adult, I noticed that in a kid's movie there was alcohol on screen.
Yes, they're drinking cocktails.
Yeah. It's got like a lemon zest inside some like bourbon. But it looked I was like, yeah, I know.
But I don't. Well, someone just said, yeah, but you go to anime movies all the time. I was like, yes, but I go to see a film or a movie. I don't go in to see a kid's movie. Like, sometimes I do. Like, I'm preparing for the worst.
Yeah.
And then I'm pleasantly, like, Zootopia. If you would have told me the racial discrimination thing is with animals, I would have laughed at you and said,
it's going to be butchered so bad.
Right. And because I'm expecting a fluffy animal movie. And that's not at all what I got. I got something very kind of sophisticated and complex. And so, I don't know. I just don't view animated films like that. I know they're trying to get the money like they are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, okay. The trailer for Wreck-It Ralph 2 makes me feel like it's going to be one of those where it's...
I have some serious concerns.
Me too.
I saw the trailer before Incredibles and I'm like, what are they doing?
I know.
They're like, this doesn't have a plot. Just watch it.
Here's the thing. If you watch the trailer, or the scene in the trailer where they go to the princesses, it's funny, but I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those things that you shouldn't have showed.
Yes.
I really, and I feel like too, as I get older, I used to be the guy who's like, let's see all the trailers. Let's watch all the trailers, get immersed into it, get pumped up. It's like watching them warm up before the game. You're getting excited about what you're about ready to see or not see. And I did not watch as many trailers for Star Wars and Avengers Infinity War. I at one point cut myself off a little bit, not too much, but just enough. And when I walked out, I was like, oh shit, I'm very surprised.
Yeah.
Because I almost went to, I remember that 2 days before, this is how on the edge I was. I almost went into Infinity War's Wikipedia page, a spoiler Reddit thread, just for people who want spoilers. And I walked in, I was looking for it, and I was like, no, don't do this. Don't do this. So glad I didn't. Because I went back and found that thread that I saved the link for, would have been completely ruined for me.
That would have been really taking some punch out of the end for you.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I've read the book, so I figured that could have happened. But the way everything happened and the story that everything, I mean,
Well, I know not everyone follows these things as much as I do, but I knew this was part 1 of 2, basically.
Oh, yeah, me too.
And so I'm like, this is going to get bad.
Oh, also, and here's the thing too. At the same time, though, you also know that Black Panther 2 is coming out. That sweet, sweet Sony Marvel movie, Spider-Man Homecoming 2. It's coming down the turnpike.
Yeah.
Guardians Volume 3. And here's the thing. James Gunn has publicly said that it takes place after Infinity War. The Avengers 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But he did say that that the Guardians are pretty messed up after that, when Volume 3 starts. And you're going, okay, that doesn't give me confidence. But then if you talk to the Russo brothers, they're still trying to go, well, what could happen to Star-Lord? Volume 3 takes place before.
We haven't actually decided yet.
Yeah, bullshit. Yeah. We all know that it's going to take place after. There's too much money, especially Black Panther. Too much money involved now with Black Panther to make that happen before fucking Infinity War. No fucking way. And same thing with Spider-Man. They're going to ride that shit out. Well, actually, no, they couldn't. If the deal runs up, they could say it takes place before Infinity War.
That's what I'm wondering, like, what kind of dancing they're going to do in these other movies. Like, we just never mention anything else from the other ones. So that way, you don't know when it happens.
Right.
Continuity.
Well, I do like that, at least in Guardians, they give you like a year, a date, which makes you also realize that everything is happening in the year 2014, 2015, which makes me go, we're a little beyond that, gentlemen. And ladies. We're a little beyond that part. We're in the 2018s now. We're about ready to hit around to 2020.
Well, you see, there was a break in the timeline for our reality and their reality.
There was a break for Laven, and the break was when Groot said "We are Groot" and then died.
That was
horrible death. Yeah. And then the other timeline, the darker timeline, Ronan's a good guy, like he is in the comic books, which was last seen in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Issue 4.
He's such a weird.
Sorry.
No, that character is such a weird.
He's coming back.
Villain.
Yeah, because Captain Marvel is a flashback and present day movie.
Whoa!
Boom!
I'm cool with that.
I am too, actually, because Coulson's coming back. Because it takes place then.
Nice.
Apparently, Samuel Jackson will not be wearing an eye patch as Nick Fury.
Ooh.
Whoa. It's like, ooh, yeah. We Marvel fans, ooh, no eye patch? Tell me more.
So much fan service.
Yeah. At the end of it, he probably gets his eye ripped out or something crazy wackadoo. And it's like,
because we have to know.
It's all connected.
I need to see every event. Everyone.
Oh, yeah. And then, but Ronan is a Kree, so, and Captain Marvel's a Kree, so it's going to somehow tie into that. Now, if they could also do me a favor and introduce Nova, fucking sweet. But I love the character Nova. Nova is he's part of, okay, here's the thing. Sorry, we've completely derailed off Incredibles, but this is superheroes, so it counts.
Yeah.
Not even as an inception, I would say. So the Marvel version of Darkseid in DC is Thanos.
Yes.
The Marvel version of the Green Lantern Corps is the Nova Corp.
Man, they really go for it.
They do. The only thing is that they're not based on collars, which I do enjoy the Lantern Corps and all the different collars and all that stuff. But the Nova Corp it's the same thing. They protect sections or areas of the galaxy, and it's all through a helmet. And the helmet kind of becomes this armor. It wraps around you, and you can you become a living bullet pretty much. And super strength and whatever. You can take a beating. you kind of become like Iron Man / Spider-Man all at the same time.
Okay.
But he's a cosmic hero. He protects the Earth, the Milky Way galaxy, but he goes all over the place. Now, that's left in question because Xandar got completely wiped.
And that's what the Nova Corps was.
Well, and that's the home of the Nova Corps, but they didn't really get into the Nova Corps. They said there was the Nova Corps, but they didn't go into like the Nova.
Yeah. Which
makes me wonder how the hell they're even going, because I really love when they did Marvel Now, they had a version where they made Nova kind of this kid who just found this helmet. It was his dad's helmet because his dad was Nova. And last we saw him and Star-Lord and Drax all died killing Thanos.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the Guardians are showing up. Where the hell is Rick, the original Nova? Well, the helmet went back to Earth to find a new replacement. It found his son.
Oh.
And so, but the son is kind of like Peter Parker, kind of that sassy, spunky thing. It was really good. I really enjoyed the shit out of it. I don't know where the character's at right now because I had to stop. Money was tight and I had to stop buying books. But it made me appreciate the character, and it made me want to see any iteration of Nova like in the films. And I know they could do an awesome job with it. But it's just like, but hey, you guys are, doing better than DC is right now. So
no matter what, you're all right.
You're all right. Like even a bad Marvel movie is a good Marvel movie. Like anyway, well, I think we've hit the gamut.
I think we've covered most of it.
We've also covered all the Marvel movies. We've covered Ninja Turtles. We've covered Star Wars. We've covered Dick Tracy. Now let's remember all this.
Yeah.
When we keep talking about it afterwards, when the show's over, because that's not recording the intro at all. But no, if you have, do you have anything to plug real quick, like a website or anything?
Right now, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Anthony, thank you so much for doing this, man. We got to have you back on again.
I'd love to.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. And you have nothing to plug, so I have nothing else. I was like, there's got to be something. There's nothing.
No, it's cool.
It's okay.
I've done some things a while ago, but it's been a while. I'm just taking a break, and I feel like I'm trying to consume things and like have experiences to like revamp my next creative things. Because as much as I'm a creative person, and it's like it makes me feel good doing it because I feel like it's like my role or like my.
Well, yeah, you need to recharge the battery.
Yeah.
I
want to do this because I enjoy it. And yes, when I do it, I'll have a good work ethic and I'll make sure I make it the best I can. But I'm not going to like just make crappy little things because I've always got to be creating. It's like, sometimes you just live and observe.
I've seen one or two of your things. They're not crappy, sir.
Thank you.
They are good. So yeah, by the way, if you can just hunt it down, there's one thing out there that I really enjoyed. You showed me the script of, and I finally saw it somewhere on YouTube. Just think it's still out there, right?
Yes.
All right. I'll just say,
was it the horror one?
It's the horror one. They're in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
I
liked how that turned out.
Yeah, I did too. It's really good. So if you get a chance, hunt that down. The clues, you know what? The context clues are all there somehow, I'm sure. Use your Google foo.
Yes, it's called Sacrifices.
Oh, there you go. So that's another big clue.
If you look for my name, you might find it. I can try to find the link, but my name's Anthony Portillo, Portillo.
Yep.
And there's not a lot of me on YouTube. There's a couple. I think there's some streamers or something, but I'm sure if you look up that, it'll be like at least in the first page.
It's really good. I really hope you guys check it out, or at least look for it. It's really good. So
it's short too. It's not a big time commitment.
It's like what, 8 minutes? Not even
maybe 10.
Maybe 10. Yeah, it's shorter than an Adult Swim episode.
Yeah, I always feel like if I'm not going to do a feature film, there's like a window. Like either it's got to be a feature where like you fully flesh everything out, or it's got to be short enough where you can just kind of happen upon it, enjoy it, and be like, oh, so that's what it is.
Yeah, and
weird movies are like the 15 to like 30-minute mark. You're like, this isn't a movie.
Yeah, this is a TV show at this. It's a pilot.
You're tricking me.
All right, well, so hunt that down. It's called Sacrifices. Anthony Portillo. All the context clues are there.
Yes.
Don't say that. Math is math. Yeah. And we're done because he's going to eat a chip. So,
sorry.
No, it's okay. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
Get out of here without cheese! You're a creep! Go away! We're having a good time until you start up, cheapers! Go have some coffee with cream or something! Because I'll tell you something! This is a happy place!
Pretty good, huh?
I can get that.
We do.
Sorry, is this bad etiquette?
Yeah, it could be kind.
I skipped dinner.
It could be bad etiquette. Also, our official. Our official. The bit's done. I can't.